knowledge. And my lesson that I'm going to be talking about is for kindergarten and is identifying the color black and to sort objects into categories, including the color black. And how I'm going to start my lesson off is that each child is going to be receiving a color. It's either going to be brown, orange, red, or black. And I'm going to call out each color. I'll say, if you have a black rectangle, please stand up. And I'll stand up and I'll proceed to go through orange, red, and black. And then they will all sit down. I'll hold up a bucket, a black bucket, and I'll say, if your color is the same as the bucket, please stand up. And then the children proceed, if they will look at it and see if their color matches, and they'll stand up. Then I will ask the class, if the colors are the same, give a thumbs up. If the colors are different, give a thumbs down. I will then proceed to have in my bucket, and I'll pull out two different colors. I'll pull out an orange one, and I'll pull out a black one. And then once again, I'll hold up, are these two the same? And I'll ask, why are they not the same? Because they'll say no, and I'll say, why are they not the same? And they'll proceed to say, because they're different colors. Then I'll hold up the black one, and I'll say, are these the same? And the children proceed to say, yes, they're the same because they're both black. Then, what I'm going to do, and their children are still sitting on the ground in front of the whiteboard. I'm going to hold up the color, this picture, and then I'm going to ask a child, what color is this picture? And they're going to proceed to say black. And I'm going to have a circle, pretend I have a circle on my wall or on the whiteboard, and I'm going to ask the child to place the black crayon inside the circle. And then I will proceed to hold up pictures. And I'll say, and I'll show them, first of all, I'll hold up a dog. Then I'll ask the children, is this dog the same color as this black crayon? And they either say, yes, it is, or it's not. But of course, they're going to say, yes, it is the same color. Then I'll ask them to put the picture, if it is the same, inside the circle. And they'll proceed to put it inside the circle. I have enough of these pictures for each child, so each child will be able to have a turn at doing this. Some will have an orange, and of course I'll say, is this the same color as the black crayon? They're going to say no, and then I'll say, put it outside of the black circle. So then they'll proceed to put it outside of the black circle. And once again, they'll pick another one. If they proceed to pick out a spider, once again, it is the same, they'll put it in the black circle. If it's different, such as that they pull out a leaf, it'll go outside of the circle. So this will go on until each child has a turn. And then we will look at and count all the objects that are inside the circle. I will then be doing a group activity where I will have all the children sit on the rug, around the rug that's on the floor. I have a hula hoop that goes in the center of the rug. And I have a bucket. Once again, I will have another prepared bucket. And in the bucket, I have different objects for them to sort. I will have, when the objects are dumped out on the circle, I will then ask the children each one will have a turn to pick up an object that's on the ground. Some will if they pick up a spider, and of course it is black, I'll say, is that the same color as the bucket? And then I'll ask, if it is the same color, put it inside, and I have the word in, because this is a directional word that we just keep reinforcing. If it is black, put it inside the black bucket. They'll proceed to pick out another object, and they'll hold it up. Is it the same? Why or why not? If it's not the same, it goes down on the ground. If it is the same, it goes back in the bucket. This will proceed on the floor as a modeling activity for the children. I will then have each child go back to their tables. I have 4 tables in my classroom, and on each table I have a hula hoop. I have a bucket of various objects for them to sort. Once again, I will have the children dump the buckets, or I will dump the buckets in the circle, and I'll proceed to tell the children, if the objects are black, where do they go? And they will proceed to answer my question, and I will say, why do they go inside the bucket? And they will say, because it is black. And they will proceed to sort. I'll have the timer set for 5 minutes. If I will adjust it, if it is not enough time for the children to sort all the objects, then I'll extend the time. But usually it lasts about 5 minutes for them to sort. Then I will have the children clean up the rest of the objects that are not black, and we will put those away. And I will have all the children dump out the objects that they have placed in the black bucket. And they will have a pile of black objects that are on their table. And I will ask the question, why do those objects belong inside the circle? They'll proceed to answer, because they are black. And I'll go to each table and ask them that. I will then have the children separate, look at their black objects, and I'm going to have them separate those into categories. Some have black squares. They're all different objects that I have for buckets. So if they have a squishy ball that's black and spiders, they will separate those into 2 categories. And then we will look at them and count those categories. The last thing I'm going to do with the children is then an independent practice. And each child, similar to what we did on the board with the color web, each child will be getting 2 sheets. But I'm going to show to them first what exactly that needs to be done. So I'll put on the board and we'll look at it. There's a picture of a bat, a cat, a goose, a paw, a spider, and a bird. I will show them, please take out your black crayon. If you have your black crayon, hold it up in the air. And they'll proceed to hold the crayon up in the air. And so I can check, make sure everybody has a black crayon. And then I will model for them coloring each object that is black. And so they will proceed to color all their objects that are black, and they will cut and then glue them onto the color web. And this will be my assessment for them to understand objects that are black.